stop people going across borders very dramatically these next few years till we get to that full vaccination. We'll have a lot of unusual measures until we get the world vaccinated. 7 billion people, that's a tall order, but it is where we need to get to.
When will there be a vaccine?
People like myself and Tony Fauci are saying 18 months. If everything went perfectly, we could do slightly better than that, but there will be a trade-off. We'll have less safety testing than we typically would have, and so governments will have to decide, do they indemnify the companies and really say, let's go out with this, when we just don't have the time to do what we normally do. You can run into safety issues. So we're going to have to take something that usually takes 5 or 6 years and get it done in 18 months. If you want to wait and see if a side effect shows up 2 years later, that takes 2 years.
If you do not have any respiratory symptoms such as fever, cough, or runny nose, you do not need to wear a medical mask like this one. Mask alone can give you a false feeling of protection and can even be a source of infection when not used correctly.
If you're not sick, you shouldn't be wearing a medical mask.
Medical professionals and government officials say we don't need face masks to fight the novel coronavirus.
There's a lot of confusion among people and misinformation surrounding face masks. Can you discuss that?
The masks are important for someone who's infected to prevent them from infecting someone else. Now, when you see people and look at the films in China and South Korea, whatever, everybody's wearing a mask. Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often, there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask, and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course. But when you think masks, you should think of healthcare providers needing them and people who are ill.
As your mask that you're wearing for days, you touch the outside of it, COVID, and then touch your mouth. This doesn't make any sense. We wear a mask in an acute setting to protect us. We're not wearing masks. Why is that? Because we understand microbiology, we understand immunology, and we want strong immune systems.
Healthy West Australians are being warned against using face masks to protect themselves against coronavirus. A safety video is going viral, showing how ineffective some can be as the nation struggles with a surgical mask shortage.
It's the safety video going viral. An Argentinian firefighter with a deodorant can, simulating a sneeze or cough. It's feared coronavirus could travel in the air, like deodorant does in aerosols. This demonstration showing most face masks are useless at trapping or blocking moisture.
But what the main conclusions of the study were is that the group that wore the cloth masks actually had a higher rate of getting the flu than wearing no mask or wearing the medically produced mask. So if you take that seriously, then what you would say is that people wearing cloth masks now actually are increasing their risk of getting sick. So it definitely goes against the common wisdom. My main criticism prima facie of the masks, aside from the psychological and social consequences, is that the pore size of the mask is 1 to 2 orders of magnitude larger than the size of a viral particle. So a virus particle is about 100 nanometers, according to what they say about this alleged COVID virus. And the pore size of the mask, an N95 mask, is on the order of microns or micrometers. So it'd be 1 to 2 orders of magnitude difference. So it would be like if you were trying to walk through a door and that door was 100 feet high and 100 feet wide. It wouldn't really stop you. Someone else made an analogy that if you put a chain link fence around your garden to keep out mosquitoes, right? There's no chance that it would work. So I think these masks are for another purpose, and I think it's to separate people from each other, alienate people from each other.
Okay, here we go. Pick up a Western Union. Next, bro, you next. You gotta take care of you. You next. Bro, you gotta take care of you, bro. You gotta take care of you. Gotta take care of you, bro. I'm next. I'm after him. Don't worry about it. You have to take care of your business. I have to take care of my business. For what? No, ma'am. If I maintain 6 feet, I don't need a mask. There's exemptions. Just take care of him, and then I'll give you the law. And I have my exemption. I have my exemption from the doctor right here. I have the exemption. Are you refusing service? Are you refusing service? Okay. This is legal notice from me to you. Okay? That's a legal notice. You cannot refuse. You cannot refuse service. The law is there. I'm going to look up your owner. That's a legal claim. $9,000 minimum for refusal of service. You're a Western Western Union agent. You're moving money, you're a bank, you're a public accommodation. You cannot refuse service. If you look on the opposite side of that, that's the law. You're a public accommodation. That's a federal law. You cannot refuse service. You're safe. Everyone here is safe. If you want to wear a mask, you wear a mask. I'm going to charge you $9,000 minimum. Are you going to refuse service? Yes? Okay. It's $18,000 for calling police. That's a legal notice to you. Okay? You're refusing service. I'm going to leave. I don't refuse to leave, but you are refusing service. You are public accommodation. I gave you the law. You had an opportunity. You already told me that you're threatening me with police. Everyone in here is a witness. Okay? We're in public. We're safe here. If you want to wear a mask, you wear a mask. That law is 2030. Executive order, listen to me real quick and I'm leaving. Executive Order 2030 specifically says that you cannot refuse service. I'm giving you the opportunity. I wrote it down for you. That is legal notice. You cannot refuse service because it's discrimination. If I had HIV, would you discriminate against me? No, because that's illegal. It's the same thing here. Nobody's sick. You don't know if I'm 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 sick. The mask does absolutely nothing. Nothing. The governor even said that the mask does nothing. It's your option. It's an order, but it's your option. You as a business, you cannot refuse service, man. It would be illegal. I don't want to claim money on you or your business. I don't want to. But I will because it's my right. No? Okay. Everyone here's a witness. It's my right. I went to the other Western Union. Listen. I went to the other Western Union, no mask. I go into Walgreens, no mask. I go into Aldi's, no mask. They have their sign that says it. If you have medical exemption that you cannot wear a mask, as long as we maintain 6 feet, we are good. We are good. 600 people have died. That is very, very little in comparison to what everyone is dying from. Okay? We don't have to have fear. We don't have to force people who can't wear a mask. There's people that cannot wear a mask. They're more dangerous for you. Your immune system is supposed to operate normally. Okay? We're healthy. You stay healthy. No one has to have fear and no one has to refuse service. That is wrong. That is illegal. The law is the law. This is legal notice. She already touched it and you are a witness, sir. You touched it. And you read it and you opened it. No, she did. She's the agent. She's the agent. Okay? She touched it, she opened it, and she read it. That means she received notice. That means I have rights. Okay? That's the law. That's the law. That's the law. Anybody can, if you put here no black people, is that the law? That would be wrong. If you put here no HIV, if you put here people who have one leg, that's American with Disabilities Act. You cannot violate the law with signs that you make up. You must read the law and you must uphold the law. Not violate people's rights, not in the public. What's next? You're gonna take a chip? And now she's gonna say, if you don't have a chip, you can't eat. You can't pick up money. You can't do banking. Are you ready for that? Or are you ready to stand up and tell these people that they cannot do that? No matter how afraid they are. They have a glass window here. She's protected, she has a mask. The cloth mask, medically, that does nothing. That's a show. That's a ritual that they're putting on you. It's not science. Even the governor says it, but these people they're brainwashed by television. They cannot refuse service. If someone feels unsafe, then they could say so and say, okay, move over there. But you can't treat people like everyone's sick. You can't do that. You refuse service, you'll be hearing from me. You're a Western Union agent.
Anthony Fauci. What? Are you kidding? My jaw dropped when I saw that. Christine Grady, head of bioethics and human experimentation at the NIH, is married to Anthony Fauci, who also works at the NIH and is head of the Coronavirus Response Task Force. Boom. Boom. And who needs a direct connection between Christine Grady and Bill Gates when you know all we know about Anthony Fauci's own connections to Bill Gates? Now, there's newspaper articles and television spots out there right now claiming that Anthony Fauci is not on the board of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Well, that's true. He's not. But that's an obfuscation on the part of the news. That's how they lie. They don't outright lie to you. They just frame it in such a way that they can set up a straw man and defeat the straw man. Straw man's never a true assertion in the first place. What people know is that Anthony Fauci is connected in a myriad ways to Bill Gates. Here's just two of them for the sake of brevity. From Philanthropy News Daily in 2002. In this article, which is called Gates Foundation Names New Director of Global Health Program, they mention that position went to Dr. Richard D. Klausner. But they mention further down in the article that along with Dr. Richard D. Klausner, another man will be overseeing the creation and development of the Vaccine Research Center, and that man is Dr. Anthony Fauci. There's one connection going all the way back to 2002, and a second one, very significantly, is from this Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation website press release from 2010. Global health leaders launch decade of vaccines collaboration. New York, the World Health Organization, UNICEF, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation have announced a collaboration for the decade of vaccines. The leadership council there is comprised of Margaret Chan, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and others. So, who needs a direct connection when you've got a marriage partner that can have that connection for you and obscure it? Don't forget, Anthony Fauci is also the person who created PEPFAR. That's a HIV/AIDS funding mechanism from the U.S. government through the U.S. State Department to this other entity called PEPFAR. Bill and Melinda Gates have benefited greatly from funding that goes through PEPFAR. Oh yeah, and before I forget, you guys, if you've been watching me for a while, already know this, but not only did Anthony Fauci create PEPFAR, but the current head of PEPFAR is Deborah Birx. And as you probably know, Anthony Fauci and Deborah Birx are the two people in charge of the Coronavirus Task Force response in the United States. So isn't that cozy? And who stands to benefit if a vaccine gets approved for the COVID-19 response? Bill Gates.
Say in something you don't understand, and you can have your opinion about how it might have been when you were a child, but if you don't understand, like I don't think Dershowitz understands the nature of the program anymore, and has done the research to see just how many shots they're giving children and newborns whose brains are still their brain barriers
their immune systems aren't formed, their brains aren't yet formed. There's a lot of questions that need to be asked, and I can tell you, Lewis, right now, you're an absolute hero in the comments here. A lot of people are asking what the response was, and I want to show this. Just a day ago, Palm Beach County government said that you don't need to wear a mask in government buildings, and there are some other things that have happened as a direct result of your presentation there. Tell us what the result was so far.
Let me. This was just yesterday, so I just found out. 9 hours. I mean, we were there for the whole day. We showed up early in the morning. They told us that we weren't going to be able to go inside if we didn't get there and at a certain soon enough, and they had limited capacity, which is ultimately another issue. That they're using this pandemic to stop participation, public participation, and almost every level of government. And it's
a slap situation.
Yeah. Well, think about this. That day that from that meeting was the first meeting that Palm Beach officials even had. I think going back, that was in May. It was several weeks before they actually had a public meeting where you can actually speak. So, once we got the opportunity to get in there, and you can't do this in Broward, by the way, or some of these, commissioner meetings, in other parts of South Florida, because they've completely, eliminated that feature. They're having closed door meetings, which is arguably a violation of Florida law, which requires open government. Yeah, I mean, I have a joke. Sunshine laws that they're if you're in Florida, look at Florida statutes, because if we don't need a new framework. We don't need to reinvent the wheel and draft new laws. There are
They just
laws
need
in the
to
books.
follow the law.
And apply it to all these people who have forgotten it. Forgot their oaths and forgot that they serve the people. That they're totally. I mean, let me just go back to this meeting. You have these officials who are, if you watch that meeting, it's disturbing, because there was at one point the mayor and the vice mayor got into it. They're arguing about a Palm Beach Post article. And public comment was supposed to happen at like 2:00. It got pushed all the way to, I think I didn't speak till about 4:00. Wow. But right before, and if you watch this, I think you're gonna just you're gonna understand what we experienced. But they suddenly, the mayor says, okay, we're about to do public comment, but we're gonna limit it to 1 minute for people who want to speak. And everybody, I mean, the crowd went wild. I mean, I saw people yelling at the mayor. Well, we sat here the whole day, listening to you, and you're gonna now censor us. How about censorship? This is supposed to be a 3-minute. Everybody gets 3 minutes, and here they are trying to reduce that to 1 minute. And it just shows you, they really have no respect for people's rights to participate in government and locals. Everybody, and they're worried about social distancing and should we let people go to the beach? Questions that I really don't understand why we're even asking these questions, because people have a constitutional right to go to the beach. Okay, they have a constitutional right to travel. Yet somehow now they're playing policeman. We're gonna and be like parents, punishing children for doing things that we don't like. I don't know what happened.
Rallying the public against an individual. I mean, they've just today decided you can't even go outside without a mask on. So I'm now relegated to sitting inside the.
It's disturbing, and I'm representing two Americans who were arrested at Miami Beach this Memorial Day weekend. Representing them pro bono after they were arrested for simply walking on the beach. Meanwhile, there's a gentleman named Raven who has an access pass. He can go on the beach and run every day.
Why does he have that? How did he get that?
He's a famous celebrity.
He's famous. So, remember what I read from the Florida Constitution? Apparently that doesn't apply anymore. Not all, men and women are not equal before the law anymore. And I think that's the bigger issue.